Hi guys, welcome to today's episode of Trade of the Day. For today's Trade of the Day, we'll be looking at the pound dollar. Right, I chose this pair because it seems like there is a very nice setup and the price is already in motion. Further, we have up and coming FOMC meeting sometime later this week, and at the same time, we also have quite a number of pound related news that will be coming up. So what we have here is the daily, and as with all technical analysis, we want to focus on the current prices. Price action in the past is important. However, it's the current prices that determines whether prices will go up or down. All right, with that, let's look at the daily. Now, I just want to zoom in on this area here, right? This is an important area. However, if we look carefully, price is in what I call a triangle pattern, right? If you join the bottom 3 points and you join the top 2 points, you get a sort of a triangle pattern. And coupled with this push up, what you're essentially having is a pennant pattern, right? And always remember, a pennant pattern is actually a continuation pattern. Okay, so what we want to see here is really for price to push up to the top of the triangle and then possibly break out, come back, retest, and then take off. Okay, but what we have here is we're going to look for the daily support and daily resistance. Right, so we see that price actually made a high here and then it came all the way down to the lows here. So what we can do is use Fibonacci retracement from the high to the low. And we can see where price could possibly head to next. We will open up all Fibonacci ratios. The next level, of course, we will see price coming to this 7640 graphical resistance level. But what I really prefer is to take the recent high here. So the Fibonacci ratio is not as relevant as expected, right? I always prefer to put more weightage on price action because price action doesn't change. Okay, so we have the daily resistance here. Let me just call this the daily resistance. All right, and what we want to do is to look for the daily support. Now, as previously mentioned, if we change this to close, we draw a trend line joining all the 3 points below, right? And we change by a candlestick. We have a very nice ascending trend line where price makes a higher low. Okay, so we can have the daily support right at this level here. Okay, so let's call this the daily support. All right, so what I expect to see is for price to push up to the daily resistance as mentioned, maybe make a small pullback and then a breakout, a retest. That is when we can enter on the retest and then it takes off. All right, that is what I'm hoping to see. So now we have our daily resistance and daily support. Let's go down to the 4 hours. So now we're on a 4-hour chart. Again, we're going to focus on this recent area, this recent move. All right, and let's tidy up the trend line because it cuts a lot of candles. I don't like to see trend line that cuts the candles. Okay, so we have something like that, right? So let me draw an ascending trend line support. Okay, so we have an ascending trend line support. Okay, so it's interesting to note that, right, every time price makes a push up, it comes back down. Price will test a certain Fibonacci retracement ratio. Now, price came up and it came back down. We want to see that this same Fibonacci ratio is tested again. So let's just use the Fibonacci ratio to confirm. From the low to the high, we see that the 7860 level is tested, right? So 7860. Now, we do the same from the low to the high. And once again, we see that price actually tests when a bit beyond 7860 and then it made that push up. Right, so the 7860 seems to be a very strong support level. So let's just select the 7860. Okay, this also happens to be in line with our daily support level as well. All right. So once we have this, as mentioned, I expect to see price making a push up to the daily resistance. Now, where would be the best point for entry? Right, with that, we just need to change, we just need to go down to the lower time frame, the 1 hour. Okay, so on the 1 hour, let's focus on this area here, this recent price here. On the 1 hour, we see that price has made sort of a zigzag pattern. Okay, so what I like to see is this graphical support level, resistance turn support, right? What we have here is actually price tested this as a resistance. It came back down, tested this as a support. Now it's going to test it as a support a second time. Okay, so this seems like a good level for entry. Now I don't just take it as a buy entry just like that. I actually want to confirm this level falls in line with a Fibonacci ratio. Now we have to zoom in on a very smaller we have to be more specific. Price made a low here. Sorry, let me get rid of that. Price made a low here and it immediately pushed to the upside and made a high here. Now we want to see whether price can actually retrace back to this level. We take a small retracement from the low to the high and we open all Fibonacci ratios. Right, and we see that the 61.8 level, it falls right in line with this graphical overlap, right? We call it overlap because this was a resistance and then price broke and tested it as a support, right? So it's an overlap, okay? So this will be a good buy entry. Now that we have identified our buy entry, another strong reason why this is a good buy entry for me is not just because the Fibonacci ratio level, but if I were to also use another trend line, okay, to connect the bottoms, okay, we actually see that price comes close. Price tested this trend line once, come close the second time, and price is now coming close to this very short-term trend line, all right? The trend line is not as important as the graphical. Only if the trend line is on the longer time frame, then we take it into serious consideration. So now we have the 4 hours. We go back to the 4 hours. We already zoom in to identify where our buy entry would be. All right, we have the daily support here and the final target of the daily resistance, right? So we want to see where we can put our intermediate take profit. There's a high here and price made a low. So we take a retracement of this entire strong push down to see how far prices can go up, right? So let's do just that. And let's use Fibonacci retracement. We open up all ratios. Now, what I like to see is that there's sort of a graphical level here, right? If you zoom in closely, there's sort of a graphical resistance here. Okay, I'll put it as dotted. It's also quite close to the 61.8 retracement level. Okay, so this is the idea that we have for the trade of the day. We're actually bullish, and I'll put my buy entry over here at 1.24032. All right, with my first take profit, okay, at the 1.2485 level. Now, once price has pushed up to here, okay, where would I put my stop loss? This daily support will be my original stop loss. Okay, so let me just put the words there. Okay, now once price actually reaches this intermediate take profit, right, where I take partial take profit, I will actually move my stop loss all the way up to my buy entry. This is to protect my position so that if price were to come back down, the trade will be closed out, but I would have already taken partial profit and I will not lose any further money, right? Of course, if price were to take off from here and go all the way to our final target, then we still have the position protected and the remaining 25% of the trade will still be profitable. All right, so this is what I have for the trade of the day. We are actually bullish on the pound dollar. Okay, so I'll put it here. Thanks a lot for tuning in today. I hope this has been a useful session for you guys. Take care and catch you the next day.